Hey guys, Chris here. So right behind me we have a 2015 BMW M4, and in today's video I'm going to show you guys this car on the exterior and on the interior in detail. But I also made a driving video of this car, so please check out that video up there in the right corner. So starting off with the front end of this car, I think this car just looks so damn mean, so damn raw. Black on black on black, and the M4 is one of the best looking cars, full stop, BMW has ever made. So check out, first off, you have the typical BMW kidney grille up front with M badging there on the right side. This car also has the LED headlights, which are really cool and look really nice. Let's see if I can actually, hit the key or hit the button here to show you guys the blinkers, what that looks like. Yeah, those are off to the side. Just gonna lock the car up again. There you can see the LEDs are lit. It is daytime here, so let's see if we can get a closer look there. That's what the DRLs look like. Really cool, actually really unique to be LEDs. The look of these lights here. And then you have, this front fascia, which is unique to the M4, which gives you three grills, the grill out there to the right, and then that one on the left flanking this middle grill here, and this mesh design, just, typical M styling, looking really nice, just very sporty but yet elegant from the front, typical BMW. And you have the chrome kidney grills here, which touch the lights here. And then you have this car, being the M4, it has the extended wheel arches, so it sits much wider than a normal 4 Series coupe. As you can see here, you can actually see this line here, which shows you how much the fender has been extended, giving this car a really wide and really mean stance. You see just how wide and low this car sits. And then you have this being the M4 again, it has this really cool bulging hood design, just giving it a really muscular look. Looks a little like a muscle car, this car here. And then moving over to the other side, you can see these 5 double spoke 19-inch wheels, which are unique to the M4 and to the M3. And being 19-inch, they just fill the wheel arches really nicely. And this car is actually really surprisingly comfortable to drive, though fitted with these 19-inch wheels wrapped in Michelin Pilot Super Sport tires. Over here you can see you have a duct here, an air vent for moving air from the wheel arch and out along the side, creating this smooth flowing of air, and it looks really cool. That's also unique to the M4, and it also gets M4 badging. Over to the side, the side profile is just really clean, the design, and then you have that sloping coupe roof line, making this car look really nice and really sporty. And I just love this triple black combination: black exterior color, black interior, and then these black wheels with these really cool blue brake calipers, actually breaking up the exterior colors a bit. And then over to the rear end. The rear might be one of the best angles of this car. You just see how wide this car sits. I just love the rear of the M4. And starting off with the deck lid here, you have this small deck lid spoiler here with these cutouts here. I think that's to give this wing a bit more effect, to create stability at high speed. You also have that fin tail antenna. And then in typical M3 M4 fashion, you have the quad exhaust pipes sitting not over to flanking too far over to the sides, but just sitting a little offset from the center. They did the same in the previous generation M4 M3, and then also in the E46 generation M3 also. That's where it started, and that has just become a signature M3 M4 exhaust tip look. And then you have nothing too much fancy, but you have a few grills here, and then you have that rear diffuser around the tailpipes there. But overall, the exterior styling, I just really like how the M4 looks actually, and it just sits so wide and so mean. Look at that rear there, just how that sits over the rear wheel. I just think this is one of the best executed looks or designs of any current BMW. And also, before we go over to the interior, just want to show you guys these wing mirrors, which have the indicators here, which are just blacked out, and this special aero piece here, which are unique to the M3. And since this car has the optional sunroof, then it doesn't have the carbon fiber roof. That deletes the carbon fiber roof when you get the sunroof. So before I show you guys the interior, I just want to show you guys the key of this BMW M4. So this is current and last generation BMW key design. They have moved on to key design in the 5 Series and in the new 7 Series. This is just plastic with, you know, chromed plastic bits here. Nothing to write home about, but this car does have keyless go, keyless entry. So put the key back in the pocket. So you put your finger there to lock the car. This car is now locked, as you can see, with that pin there. This does not have the automatic folding mirrors, so put your hand behind there to unlock the car, and you see the mirrors are still in the same place and that pin pops out. Open up. I have rolled down the windows because it is rather hot today. And starting off with this huge door, because this is a 2-door coupe, it does have a huge door, and since it's also a 2-door coupe, it has frameless windows and they just look really nice. This door design might not be the most practical in tight parking spaces, but it gives this car a unique stance and a unique look. So this car has leather on top of the door, really nice stitched leather there. And then moving down here, it has this piano black finishing here, and then lower down it has more stitched, and this is Murano leather, really smooth, really supple, feels just like Napa leather. And then this armrest also is covered in leather, contrast stitching here, contrast stitching there, black stitching up top, and then even the door handle on the outside outer portion does have stitched leather with contrast stitching. And then you have this grab handle, this door release, which actually feels like plastic. I think it actually is plastic. And then you have the speaker grill there, and then also you have a tweeter up here. This car is also equipped with the optional Harman Kardon sound system, which I actually haven't listened to, but well, I actually tried it a few years ago in 3 Series, and it does sound fine enough. Not the best, but not the worst. And then down here you have soft touch plastics. You have a rather small storage bin here in the door, but it is carpeted on the inside, and the whole thing is soft touch plastic, so it does feel very nice. So this being the M4, you get the M4 seats, or the M Sport seats, with the integrated headrest and M badging there, and also with this beautiful soft merino I do apologize, merino leather. And then you also have contrast stitching here on the sides. You have really aggressive side bolstering and also quite aggressive thigh bolstering there, but you don't have an extendable thigh cushion here, which is actually quite disappointing, because I think BMW actually almost invented those back in the 80s. Strange to not find it here on the M4. This has, of course, electrically operated seats with 2 memory settings there, and you also have here you have adjustable lumbar support. So just gonna move the seat back, show you guys more of the interior. And this has this three-spoke BMW M steering wheel, which looks like this. On the left side, so you have controls for the cruise control, and on the right side you have controls for both the board computer and audio. I do apologize, I am a little bit dry in my throat. Should have drank a glass of water before I filmed this video, but we've now started. Here you have also, this car has 2 M settings, so here you can customize these to the different drive modes. In this car, this M1 is programmed to turn everything off and everything in a most aggressive setting: transmission, suspension, steering, exhaust. And the M2 setting on this specific car is set to be the most aggressive, but does keep M dynamic mode on, meaning you do have some stability control. You have to press twice to confirm. Up here in the gauge cluster, this has normal, analog, M gauge clusters, which are actually, they're not black, they're actually gray. And if I put on the ignition here, just turn on, which is a button here, where you can also turn off the start-stop button. A lot of manufacturers can learn from BMW because that's the best place to put it. Start the engine, turn off engine, start, stop. You have this LCD screen running along the bottom. Actually quite simple. BMW, at least in this generation, aren't the most tech-heavy cars. Zooming out to the steering wheel again, it's a beautiful 3-spoke steering wheel design with it's actually really thickly rimmed, but it's actually really soft to the touch also. And it has the M colors stitched here on the inside of the steering wheel. And then you have these really big metal shift levers behind here, which just work really nice and feel really nice, controlling the 7-speed dual clutch transmission. Up top here we have the iDrive screen. This is a 10.1 inch screen, if I'm not mistaken, very wide screen, and this isn't, you know, the latest iteration of it. This is a 2015 model, so this version here is a few years old, but still, BMW iDrive screens are one of the best in the business. These maps are really nice. Piano black finishing here. Here you have programmable buttons for different function in both the infotainment and the audio system, so you can press to see if everything is, no, they don't have any presets, but you can program 9 different functions there. And then you have a audio knob there, or volume knob, which is always very welcome. And then this car has dual zone climate control with physical buttons, also a really welcome thing. With many modern cars moving to touchscreens, I do always prefer physical climate control buttons because they are just really easy to use, and well, these are just simple and self-explanatory. On the side of the transmission tunnel here, we have more of that beautiful merino leather with contrast stitching. The same goes for on this side, and on the glove box here, a rather large glove box with contrast stitching, and that is actually leather covered, which is actually very impressive in this class of vehicles. On top, we also have that beautiful merino leather with this contrast stitching line going there through the front and actually ending here, and then you have black stitching on the portion over there. And then here you have some aluminum trim, which actually doesn't feel, it's okay enough, but considering the rest of the interior, this actually feels, well, it feels nice, but it looks a little bit out of place. You also have it down here with horizontal lines. It just, in my opinion, it looks out of place. You might like it, but I would have preferred something a bit different. Down here you have more storage. You have this small storage bin here. You have a 12-volt power outlet there, and then you have a small, oh, you actually have storage here, and then you have cup holders under there. Not sure where you store this when you're using the cup holders, but that's what you do have. Here you have to turn off traction control. Here you have, press this and you change your driving modes, and then here you change your dampers, your steering, the force of the steering, how heavy the steering is, and then you have the cameras here. This car is equipped with both a plethora of cameras, front-facing cameras, rear-facing cameras, a 360 camera there, and then you have turn off the parking aid there, and then here you also can adjust how harsh the transmission shifts. Down here you have the typical BMW iDrive controller with, you know, media menu, telephone, radio, nav, all these shortcut buttons, and you turn it by doing this. Let's see if we can go to the menu. That's what it looks like, and much like in Audi MMI fashion, just BMW iDrive. Here you actually have a manual mechanical handbrake. You don't see those much anymore, but this car does have that. And then you have a armrest underneath here with something that looks like a phone charger, a rather small armrest compartment here, but it is softly padded and also has that contrast stitching and that merino leather. So just going to show you guys the rear seat really quickly. Not much to write home about, just have to move the front seat a bit forwards. You have a release here, and we are hitting the roof, so we actually have to put the seat down. Let's see. Now we can move that seat outwards, and you have a button here to move that electrically forward. Yeah, you have 2 seats. This is a 4-seater, and this is what that looks like. Let's see, this is probably behind myself, and now you can't, you have to move this backwards. I'm now sat behind myself. Well, probably not there. No. Let's just stop that. This isn't the biggest rear seat. I'm 5'7", not the tallest guy, but that's what this looks like. Actually, the cabin materials back here, you actually have leather on top of the rear section here, which is actually really impressive. You have soft touch plastics there, more leather here on that rather small armrest, but this is a coupe, and that beautiful merino leather here, and then you have integrated headrests. As I said, this car has the sunroof, which does delete the carbon fiber roof, just giving this car a fraction of a bit higher of center of gravity. So lastly, guys, just going to show you guys the trunk of this BMW M4. Not the most practical car, but people watching this video might want to look and see what the trunk looks like. The release is really easy. It just pops up by itself, closes really nicely, has an electronic release on the button, and actually, size-wise, it is actually quite big for being this class of vehicle. So there you go, guys. That was my extensive tour of the interior and the exterior of the 2015 BMW M4, a car I really like. And if you want to check out the driving portion of me testing this car, link up again in the right corner. So guys, if you like this video, please drop me a thumbs up down below, and for more car content, as always guys, please subscribe. See you guys later, and goodbye.